Yeah, so we'll start. So before going to the technical details, so let me introduce myself. Prasad. So I have overall 10 years of experience in data engineering part, and I handles several tools like Snowflake and ETL and what covers in the data engineering part. Okay, so this is all about myself. And this 2 days Snowflake sessions will be provided by the Vinay Tech House at free of cost. It's like a complimentary for you. And in this 2 days of sessions, on the very first day, today, you're going to see what organizations are taking a decision to make their data migration to store their data in the Snowflake. Why Snowflake? Why the organizations are shifting towards the Snowflake apart from the traditional warehouses. Okay. Apart from the traditional warehouses, why they are choosing the Snowflake? And what is a Snowflake? Apart from the organization, what it is used for the regular developers, regular architects. So both the way how it is used for the developers as well as for the organizations which it is choosing. And we'll see some of the features, what features that it is affecting or it is making a difference to the traditional data warehouses to your cloud data warehouse. Okay. And tomorrow we are going to see the UI interface, how the Snowflake will looks like, and whatever the features we discussed, where it will appear. So it's like a UI interaction go through for tomorrow. Firstly, we start with what is a Snowflake. Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse which separates from the on-premise applications. In order to survive related to the budget or related to the infrastructure maintenance, to make apart with respective to the traditional warehouses, the Snowflake comes into the picture. Before coming to the Snowflake, what is the traditional data warehouses? We call them as on-premise applications, which is having highest cost. I'll take an example of Oracle. It is a database, or I can call it as a data warehouse, which stores the huge data of an organization or a client. So when it comes to build or when it comes to make an applications to store the data in the Oracle, I have a client. The client requirement is to build an infrastructure which is to store their data in the Oracle. What factors should I remember or what factors should I keep in mind to make this infrastructure is happen? I need to purchase the application. I need to install the application. I need to build an infrastructure like a networking setup. I need to purchase the hardware. I need to purchase the application license cost. I need to recruit the developers. I need to recruit the database administrators. I need to recruit the physical equipments. I need to build a networking setup. I need to contact a network person or an organizations to build everything. You need to build an infrastructure. You need to build a setup where the physical requirements will be there, a device. You need a virtual machine, because company hides their sensitive data which is not going to be accessed by the organizations directly. So you will choose a virtual machine which is for the secured purpose. Everything is going to be a burden. For the company side, this is going to be a burden. High maintenance cost. You need to maintain all these people. You need to talk to the networking person to build a infrastructure. You need a physical storage devices. You need electricity. You need, including the security for the physical storage devices or including the electricity bill, it is going to be a high cost. Your data crashed. You need a database administrator as well as you need to maintain the backups. So these are the things I should consider when I have a requirement to build an infrastructure to store the data in the on-premise application, that is Oracle. So the applications which require these many requirements, we call them as on-premise applications or traditional data warehouses. We need an infrastructure, we need a physical devices, we need an application, we need to purchase the license, we need to install the application, we need to maintain the backups, we need an administrator person, and we need a physical devices. So everything is going to be a burden. Slowly, it got changed. Slowly, it is changing. The pattern of maintenance is changing. So some organization will give the infrastructure to some vendor. Some organization will give the physical equipment orders for some vendor. Again, it is a budget expensive. Even though they are not maintaining, they will give for some vendor to maintain it. Ultimately, the client is the one which is to handle everything. Maybe they are not handling a person. Maybe they can handle the budget. So it is an issue. Here comes our Snowflake, which started in 2012 and it's deployed on the cloud, that is AWS, which is started by the ex-Oracle engineers, in 2012 just as a application to a bridge. It's like a bridge. Just for the computation, it was started. Just like a SQL query executions, it was started in 2012, which was deployed on the AWS platform. Just to store, just to store some data, just to store some application. Slowly, it changes its features and it evolved as a full-time data warehouse, and it increased its features, extends its features in 2014, and it deployed on the AWS, Azure, and GCP. So it's our wish. So which cloud platform we will choose, the account is going to be deployed on the particular cloud. So in 2012, it started only in AWS. Now it is in 2014, it continued its deployment into the several clouds, AWS, Azure, and GCP. Here, no maintenance cost, no license cost, no physical equipments is needed. Suppose the organization needs to store their data. They don't need to purchase the license. Here, there is no concept of license cost. How much you are using? I can use it for some days. You can use it for some days and you can keep it aside. You can pay for how much you are using on a credits based, on a how much SQL statements you are executing. I'm using it for only 1 TB of data to be stored. You can use that for 1 TB storage. Here the cost is divided into storage cost and compute cost. How much data you are storing on a monthly basis, you can pay for the storage cost. Suppose I'm not storing nothing. I'm just using it for the computation. I just stored for 1 month and rest of the months I used it for the computation purpose and aggregations purpose. Rest of the months you no need to pay. You just pay for the computations. How many SQL queries you will execute based upon the time here the cost is going to be decided. Average cost is for 1 hour depends upon the virtual warehouse. You are going to pay for $3.6. Depends upon the region, depends upon the cloud, depends upon the warehouse size. It is a variation. It is not that recommended. We should use. I have a small organization and you will be having a big organization. Everything is not similar for you and me. Suppose take a Oracle, everyone will have to purchase the license. Even you are a big company, I am a small company, everyone should use the license, purchase the license. When it comes to the Snowflake, you no need to pay for the cost, only you can choose what was the warehouse you decide. You are a small organization, you can go for the virtual warehouse size very small. I have a big organization. I can go for the big size of virtual warehouse so that I can store the large volume of data in it. So there is a big difference from the traditional warehouses to the Snowflake. No concept of application. Just you need to create an account in the Snowflake, which you have to decide on which cloud it is going to be deployed and from which region you are going to access it. That's it. You can use it per up to how many credits you have. Once your credits is done, you have to purchase the credits. Up to the credits are going to be end. Up to that much you can use your credits. There is no expiry date. It's not that your license is expired. Up to the credits you have, that many credits you can use until and unless your credits are completed. There is no expiry date. There is no involvement of any physical devices. There is no involvement of infrastructure. No need of virtual machines. You can directly use it in your systems. You can create an account and you can use it because the data deployed in the cloud already secured. No need to build a virtual machine. So all these are a variation which takes apart your Snowflake from the traditional data warehouse. So that is why the organizations now slowly migrating their data from the traditional data warehouses to the Snowflake. So it is the perspective of the organizations that they choose the Snowflake rather than the traditional data warehouses. But how this is going to be useful for the developers? Is there any features that is making a sense to use the Snowflake rather than using the traditional data warehouses? Why the developers needs to use or the data engineers needs to use the Snowflake? Is there any features? There are 7 to 8 features which makes a difference, same like how the organizations are taking the decision. There is no license cost, there is no high maintenance cost, there is no equipment. So same way there is a architecture difference for the Snowflake to traditional data warehouses, which are useful for the developers or data engineers. The first and foremost important feature that is in the Snowflake, the computation and storage is going to be in a different layer. You have an account in Snowflake. You will be accessing your data from the Snowflake, but your data is not going to be stored in the Snowflake. Your data is going to be stored in the cloud. And your Snowflake consists of 3 layers, which is a compute layer, which will be used to execute the SQL statements, and storage layer where it is going to store the data, and your cloud services layer which will handle the metadata and security and access controls or optimization services in the Snowflake. So all these three are independent. There is no dependency. When it comes to the Oracle, whatever the data server you deployed, in that data server, you have to execute the statement. Your data is going to be stored. Everything is at one place. Everything is at one place. But when it comes to the Snowflake, these three layers are independent. Your storage is going to be divided. Your data is going to be stored in the database layer, that is any cloud that you choose, AWS, Azure, or GCP. And you're doing the computations. Computations in a sense, you are executing the SQL statements in the compute layer. And your metadata is going to be stored in the cloud layer. How many data records you have, what data types you have using, how many records you have in the list, what is the maximum value, minimum value, do you have the access to the table or not? So how much time it is taking to execute the query. So this is like an architectural difference for the Snowflake to the other data warehouses. When it comes to the other features, we have a feature of multi-cluster warehouse. That is, whenever some parallel executions or whenever some number of users are increased for a database usage, a 500 users in the traditional data warehouse at a time they are using. So there will be a crash or there will be a lag in the database. It might cause the data loss, it might cause the execution time more, or it might cause the slow executing queries. Anything can be happened whenever the number of users are more. In Snowflake, at a time, millions of users can access it, and millions of users can access the same database. There is no concept of concurrency. Multi-clusters are going to be enabled for the multiple peoples or multiple users are executing the same query or same database or same table or a different table and different databases. There is no concept of bottlenecks. There is no concept of hanging. There is no concept of lagging. There is no concept of slow execution of the queries. So the important feature that is having in the Snowflake is multi-cluster warehouses. So whenever some user is executing some query, it assigns some compute resource in it. The compute resource will be handling the execution of your query. If any other user is executing at the same time, there is no query is going to be in the queue. There is no query is going to be in the queue and pending. The parallel query execution will be happening for 500 users at a time. Minimum 500 users, a maximum of million users. At a time, they can use and they can execute the queries. The queries are not going to be wait when the execution of queries is more. So this feature makes a difference from the Snowflake to other traditional warehouses. The next feature that Snowflake is having is there is a concept of time travel period. There is a concept of time travel. There is a concept of fail-safe. In general, I have a table I created today and I made some changes to my table. And day after tomorrow, I feel that that is not correct. So you have a control Z option, like you have a undo feature like rollback. But in Snowflake, by default, the parameter it is going to be set it as a auto commit option. You can't roll back. Once the data is saved, you can't roll back. But there is a feature that provides up to the 90 days of period, you can see the historical data. Once you dropped, So you might have seen some in the memes or in the interview questions, someone is asking, so you are new to the production, so you deleted the production table. So what should you do? Accidentally you deleted a production table. So how will you recover it? So in general, you will go for the database administrator and you will ask, can you recover the data? Or you have to maintain some backup for the table. So if the backup is not there, you no need to worry about in the Snowflake. If your table is deleted, no need of backup, no need of a backup table. The table itself is going to be retrieved up to 90 days. As a developer, you no need to go for any person to ask, can you create a backup or can you do the backup of your table or can you retrieve your table? Up to 90 days, you can recover your table as a developer. You forgot that 90 days is completed. Even after that, there is a 7 days of period that is called failsafe. You can contact the Snowflake support team and you can ask for the retrieval of your table. There is no third person involvement is required. You no need to panic. You no need to worry about the manager. Sorry, accidentally I deleted the bill. What should I do? No need to ask for any colleague. A 90 days of window period is there, retention period, we call it as. We can go and check and retrieve our table. It is not only for the table, a database. Around 10 objects you can retrieve. Except a stage, there is a concept of 9 to 10 objects, database, schema, file format. So these are some objects. So all the objects can be retrieved, not only a table. And you can see the historical data also. You are maintaining a table from past 3 months, or you are maintaining a table from past 3 years. I want to see how my data looks like in 2025 November 1st. It will see by using the time travel option. You can see how your data is at 2025 exactly at that particular time. You have an option of timestamp, offset, and query ID. With several features of time concept, we can see the historical data and we can retrieve our object with respective to the 90 days period. 90 plus and 7 days. Almost 97 days you can plan it. The next feature is zero copy cloning and data sharing. You feel that you're working in a sensitive data. So that sensitive data you want to take a backup. So in general, traditional data warehouses, if you take the backup, there is an extra storage is going to be occupied. Suppose I'm working on an employee table. That employee table is consist of 1 TB of storage. If I take the backup, the same exactly employee backup is going to be created and that will also occupy 1 TB of storage. When it comes to the Snowflake, there is no storage occupancy will be done when you do the backup by using the zero copy cloning option. If you do the normal copying or normal backup, it will occupy the storage. But when it comes to the zero copy cloning, there is no duplicating of your data storage. The storage cost is not going to be affected when you clone the object. You might have seen in the mobile application, that is, you are cloning some application. You are cloning your WhatsApp, you are cloning your Instagram, you are cloning your Facebook. So there is an extra application will be created and which is going to occupy the application storage. But here, there is no concept of storage will be associated with your backup table if you use zero copy cloning. You can clone n number of objects n number of times. This will use the micro partition of your source and it will not occupy any storage. And the next feature is Data sharing. We have a feature of internal sharing. You work in a same organization. You no need to give an access. You can give the access, but I don't want to give the access. Just I want to share the object with my colleague, how the data looks like. No need to give the entire permissions to the data. You just share the object, how your object is there in your account. No concept of giving access to the database, no concept of giving access to the user's account. You can directly share the object with the other Snowflake account who is handling the data. The live data is going to be shared with that person, internal sharing. Outside the organization, the client wants to see the data. You can use the external sharing. You can share it to the Snowflake marketplace. There are there is a place called Snowflake Marketplace. You can share it to the persons whoever is having the Snowflake account. It's like an ocean of products. It's like an ocean of products. You can collect the data, you can load the data over there. You worked on a sample data and you want to share it with the users, whoever is across the globe using the Snowflake account. You can upload your data into the marketplace and you like some product, you want to use it as a sample, you can retrieve that object or a table or a data into your own database. And there is a feature in data sharing. If the person does not have a Snowflake account also, you can share the object with that person by creating some reader account. So these are the several features. Just in a demo session, I included a four to five features. There are so many features that makes sense to make a differentiate with the traditional data warehouses to the Snowflake. There is a concept of caching. If I execute two identical queries, there is no concept of cost. Two identical queries will be stored in the cache results. From the cache results, I'll get the result. No need to access the storage layer. So like this, there is so many features that is making a sense for the data engineers to use this Snowflake data warehouse, cloud data warehouse. The option is in your hands. Like you can choose your cloud, you can choose your account, you can choose your version. But in the traditional warehouses, there is no concept of choosing. Only one application, only one license cost. That's it. Here you can choose your warehouse size. Here you can choose your cloud. Here you can choose your warehouse maintenance, whether you have a small or large value. You can choose your edition. You have up to 5 editions Snowflake is providing. You can choose your edition as per your wish, as per your organization's data, as per your budget. So everything is in your hand when it comes to the Snowflake. The core structure which involves in the Snowflake is we are going to handle data loading, which is from the different sectors, from the local computer, from the internal stages, from the external stages. We are going to load the data from the cloud and we use the feature of Snowpipe. So how to load the data automatically once the file is arrived in the cloud. So there is a concept of streams and tasks, incremental loading and full loading, and covering all the Snowflake advanced features with the Cortex AI. Snowflake is having an inbuilt LLM model that is Cortex AI. So it is not like a regular AI. So we no need to, even though you don't have the knowledge of SQL, you can interact with this. You can ask the Cortex AI, can you design an incremental loading? It is not like a regular AI to give the answers. So you can have some functions in it. It can interact with you like a LLM model as a designer, as a developer, as a data pipeline designer. It will give you the suggestions. It will give you the answers. It will integrate with your data and it will use it as a data validation purpose also. Inbuilt, it will interact with your data. So there is a features of Cortex AI is also we are introducing to of 1 or 2 sessions. Like we'll teach about, we'll learn the concept of Cortex AI also from now. And in the code structure, apart from the Snowflake, so we are going to learn the DBT integrations. What is a DBT? What is a DBT core? And what is a DBT cloud? And what's the features of the DBT? How to integrate your Snowflake with the uh, DBT. And in the Snowflake, we also learn about not only the UI perspective, we learn about Snow SQL. What is a Snow SQL? What is a Snow site? What is a Snow park? Everything. So from the basic data to data engineer level, the entire course structure is designed. It's going to be a real-time environment practice. It is not like a theoretical way. Everything is going to be covered in a real-time practiced way in a lab session. There is no PowerPoint presentations to discuss. There is no theoretical concept to discuss. At the end of the course or end of the class, I'll give you the theoretical document analysis. But inbuilt, while the lesson is going, everything is we are learn on the Snowflake itself. We load the data live. We make a Azure account. We make a Amazon S3 account. We keep the file there. We'll do the data loading automatically. We'll create integration with the SnowSQL. We'll create what is a Snowpark. We'll do the integration with the DBT. So everything is going to be a practical real-time scenarios and interview preparation. At the end of the course, in the middle of the course, a mini project will be given. So once 10 sessions or 15 sessions is completed, a mini project is going to be given for you. After completing the course, a full-fledged project is going to be given. And at the end of the course, 1 day of session will be dedicated for the interview preparation, how the real-time interview questions will be asked, how the real-time projects in the organization, what data architectures they follow, what is medallion architecture, what is batch architecture, what is ETL architecture, what is ELT architecture, what is a streaming pipeline architecture. We are going to help you in the resume optimization. Maybe you are working in a different domain. You want to migrate it for the Snowflake. So how to keep the project. So how to explain your project in the interviews. So whoever is interested in the completing their certificate. We have 4 types of certifications, no pro. So we are going to give you the dumps. Thus 90% of the course, if you complete, you will be able to crack the Snowflake certification. The course is designed in a way to crack the interviews and crack the certification on yourself. There is no requirement of support. We'll provide the pattern. I'll give you the dumps. Your involvement is to just practice the scenarios and understanding the concept. That's it. So we will provide you the mock interviews. So how the mock interview has to be taken. Okay. So this is all about what we are going to deal in the upcoming sessions. So what features we are going to provide you, what options we are going to provide you at the end of the sessions. So the daily sessions is going to be 1 hour, Monday to Friday. The regular sessions will be started from Monday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. And it should be 1 hour or 1.5 hours. It depends upon the uh, plan. So whoever is having any queries, you can raise. And I got it from only 2 people. And whoever is left with the giving your details to see the recorded session or to see this demo document and everything, you can paste your email IDs and contact numbers to get these details. So feel free to ask the doubts so that whatever the queries you have regarding the course, or I given a brief introduction, what is the Snowflake, how it is useful for the engineers or the developers for the organizations. So what course structure we are going to offer you, everything I have covered. So what is your perspective and what is your queries you can go through?
Hey, hi, this is Sudhir.
Yes, Sudhir, proceed.
So actually, I'm working as a IDMC developer. So I'm looking forward to the Snowflake. So is it relevant to course to learn this one or what? I need to get connected
You're
with
working as a
IDMC Informatica developer. ISS.
informatica developer. Okay,
Yeah.
sure. So since you're in the ETL background, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
So your end client is must be a data warehouse.
Yeah.
Yes. So there
Yes.
might be a chance to migrate in your own organization from the whatever the data warehouse they are using. There will be a chance of migration, right?
Okay.
So that might help you. Or else you are looking for the upgrading your skills. In that way, it will help you. Or maybe you are looking for the shift. You want to switch from the organization to another organization.
Mhm.
In that way also it will help.
So my scenario was this is the ISS plus Snowflake is a combination of projects or what?
Yes,
I've
that
heard.
is what. So
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
in future you have to develop a design ETL
Mhm.
structure which
Yeah. Yeah.
stores the data in the Snowflake,
Okay. Okay. Got
right?
it.
So
Yeah.
first of all, you need to know what is a Snowflake, how the data storage will be happening, how to load the data. So what is a file format? So if that is the requirement,
Okay.
so
So
it will
this,
be useful.
yeah, yeah, okay. This
Or
Snowflake
maybe
is complete data warehouse concept or inside the ETL also is there.
no, it is an inbuilt ELT transformations. So it
Okay.
follows the ELT transformation that is,
Extract, load, and transform, right?
yes,
Yeah.
inbuilt ELT pipeline it is. You
Okay.
can use the DBT to transform inside it.
Okay.
You can
Mm-hmm.
integrate with DBT and you can use the inbuilt UDFs, that is user defined functions. So
Functions.
we have
Okay. Got it.
uh, Python UDFs, Java UDFs, and SQL basic UDFs, right? So there
But
is a
we have, yeah, yeah, you mentioned right, Python and Java, but we have hands-on SQL only.
yeah, SQL is enough. So
Yeah.
I'm giving the example. You can
Okay.
utilize the features.
Okay. Okay. Got it. Got it. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So by default, Snowflake is handling ANSI SQL supported, but it supports Python also.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
So it's useful for the upgradation purpose, upskill purpose, or maybe you want to switch to the Snowflake developer. Already you have an experience in ETL domain so that you can use this Snowflake and try a different domain, that is data engineer. So the combination of ETL and the data warehouse will leads to the data engineer role. So it will be useful in that way also.
Yeah. Okay.
Hello, hi Vinay, this is Joshi.
Yes, proceed, Joshi.
Yeah, I'm a PL developer. So is it useful?
Yeah. So because
Uh,
whoever is having zero knowledge in the SQL also, okay,
okay.
since you are
Hmm.
already aware of how the
Okay.
SQL
Yes, yes,
keyword
yes, yes.
formation.
Oracle PL developer. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. So all in upcoming 5 to 6 years, I
Hmm.
can't say in very fast the migration is going to be happen, but
Okay.
rest of the
Hmm.
5 to 6 years, the migration will be there. So
Hmm.
now
Hmm.
the slowly companies are migrating their data from the traditional warehouse to the Snowflake. So
Hmm. Hmm.
from the next 5 to 6 years, there will be a huge migration projects. So in interviews, they might have asked what is your migration project experience? Do you have worked on any migration project? Or do you
Okay.
design any data pipeline to store the data in the Snowflake?
Okay. So for Snowflake, we need to learn any of Azure or GCP
Nothing. There
or
is no cloud experiences required. So here
okay,
the cloud is just as a platform.
okay.
Okay. So there is
Mhm.
no cloud experiences required. So I mean AWS, Azure, and GCP. So these are the
Okay.
clouds. How our Snowflake is deployed. So there is no requirement of cloud experience.
Mhm. So Snowflake is not a cloud, right?
It's not a cloud. It's an application which is deployed on the cloud used as a data warehouse.
Okay, okay, okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So coming to the Roshan's question, yes, you can switch. So it's not that you are a .NET developer, you are a SQL developer, or you are working in an ETL developer. So we are starting from the scratch. So suppose, so we are planning a batch means it's not that everyone is same. You are into the different domain. So you are a .NET developer. You doesn't know what is a schema. So we handle everyone equally. So first 2 days of sessions will be a basics, like what is a OLEP transactions, what is OLTP transactions, right? So what is a fact table, what is a dimension table? So everything is like a basic. So we handle everyone equally. So whoever is the person comes from the non-IT or a refresher or you are having an experience in the other domains. Okay. So you can use this opportunity to learn from the basics. Yeah. So how much you put your efforts, it's not a matter of experience. Okay. So how much effectively you are learning the course, that experience you can convert it as a real-time experience. So it's not that you learn the course, it is completed. You need to work on the scenarios so that you can replace your whatever the previous experience you have, you can replace it with the Snowflake developer experience. Got it, Roshan? Yes. So any question? Any other? Anyone? So I'll be your delivery partner. So I'll handle your training sessions. Okay. So whoever is having any queries related to the course fees or whatever the queries you have, so what is the course timings and all, you can reach out to the Vinay Tech House regarding that. Okay. So the regular sessions will be started from Monday and 9 to 10 a.m. And you can reach out to the Vinay Tech regarding the enrollment and all. So tomorrow we will have another demo continuation to this. We'll have a UI interface interaction. Whatever the features we talked about, we'll see a sample 2 to 3 features and we'll go through the UI, what the features, where it will reside. If any questions or whoever is yet to give your details in the chat box, you can use the chat box to give your details. I got it from only one, two, three, four. I got it from only 4 people. So any questions or any concerns you can ask.
Hey, hi, this is Prasad here.
Yes, Prasad, proceed.
Yeah. So you mentioned that it is useful for developer and engineers, but would it be also useful for to become a architect for
Yes,
someone who is having experience in the data space
yes.
and already doing the data architect role, but not in Snowflake?
Hmm. The core structure is designed in a way it will be useful for the data architect, it will be useful for the data administrators, it will be useful for the data developers. We have a uh, data administration part also. We have a Snowflake administrator roles, which will handle
Okay.
RBAC model, UBAC model, DAC model, how to create a resource monitor. These are the responsibilities of an admin perspective. So once the entire course is completed, you will design a data pipeline on yourself. So there is a requirement you have to design a data pipeline. Uh, so early morning at 9 a.m., you are not in the office. So you have to design a data pipeline. Once the file is received, the data loading will be happened automatically. So this is the requirement, right?
Yeah.
So you can design. So the course structure is designed in a way you can work as a developer, you can work as a data engineer, you can work as a data administrator and architect.
Okay. And regarding the certification, this will help you to crack the Snow Pro certificate. But
Yes,
the Snow Pro is the first, the beginner basic one, right?
it's a basic one.
Okay. And how about the advanced? I mean, do we
No,
need to enroll for any other
Snow
modules?
Pro is like a four types of things. Okay, Snow Pro is a basic one which includes a types. Snow Pro Advanced, Snow Pro, uh, four types of things will be there. Okay, so we are going to cover four types, not only one basic type. So basic to the advanced. So four types of things we are going to cover, and we are going to give a pattern. So what type of questions criteria will be asked? So let me show you one demo. See, this is the Snow Pro Advanced Architect Certification Guide. Okay, so in this, you will be having the URLs, how, what type of questions is mostly covered on what part. Okay, so here 25 to 30% of the questions will be covered on the how, account, and security level. And 20 to 25% is covered on the architecture of the Snowflake. Data engineering part 15 to 20%, and performance optimization related 25 to 20%. So this is like a sample. We are going to provide you around four types of certification. So Snow Pro Advanced Architect, Snow Pro Advanced Data Engineer, Snow Pro Core certifications. Okay, there is four types. So these four types will be having a dump. Okay, so it's like a
Okay.
dump also available. So what was the basic questions? So what is the difference between permanent table, transit table, and temporary table? So what,
Okay.
where, and how many ways we can define the file formats? So how will you design a data pipeline? So what is the validation mode? So once the course structure is completed, you will get to know whether these topics is covered or not. So you can easily identify you covered all these things in the session levels. Okay, so we are going to help you in the certification as a guide and as well as to clear your certification as an instructor.
The course timing you said that 9 to 10 a.m. Every day,
It's
weekday.
AM, yes, every day.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I got it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyone had to give your details, you can paste the chat box. And if any questions, you can ask, we'll discuss. So if no questions, we'll meet tomorrow for the second term at same time, 9 a.m. So thanks. Thanks for joining, and we'll meet tomorrow.